Welcome back. Today is day 16 of my 365-day journey. I hope you enjoyed the previous video where I was speaking, I think, at 4 a.m. I'm thinking of doing more of those. Today on this video, I wanted to speak with you about 3 concepts that I would like to package together for you. And you've probably heard of them individually, but let's put them together, keep them handy so you can use them whenever you're faced with a life challenge, a life-altering event. Girlfriend left you, lose your job, lose all your money, something terrible like that. So let me see if I can make this short and sweet, because this information is dry for me. Those 3 are perspective, meaning, and presence. Perspective, it's a shift in perception. So it's about changing how you see a situation. Seeing the facts in a different light, understanding someone else's point of view, or recognizing a different possibility. For example, a man loses his job, he sees it as a failure. Then he talks to a friend and realizes that many successful people were laid off at some point. So he reframes it as a common challenge, not a personal defeat. So that's gaining new perspective. Okay? It's temporary or situational. It's about seeing events differently. So that's the first thing you want to use, right? Well, not necessarily the first thing, but that's a common thing to do, is use a different perspective, adopt a different perspective when something happens, something bad happens. So you think of it in this way: given the situation, how else might I think about it? Just 2 examples from ancient history, like Marcus Aurelius in Meditations, his book or notes. He urged seeing events as neither good nor bad, but merely part of nature. So that's a shift in perspective. And another example, someone with depression might reframe the inner belief, or this, I'm a failure, as I've experienced a failure, which many people do, and it doesn't define me. Okay, the perspective shift. Second is meaning. So meaning is about it's about integration into your life story and values, why something matters in the grand scheme of things. And it's about deep emotional and existential understanding, why something happened, what it says about you or your life, and what role does it play in your story. So it often involves connecting pain to purpose, reframes suffering as a part of growth, and reconstructing your identity or life philosophy. So some questions we might use to extract a meaning are: what might this be asking of you? How does this experience fit into the bigger picture of your life? What part of you is being called to grow here? Okay, so starting to see the difference between perspective and meaning. So with utilizing meaning, same example, man loses his job, and after deep reflection, he realizes it's an opportunity to pursue a long forgotten passion. That sounds silly. But maybe basket weaving or underwater welding or something. He sees the loss as a necessary break from a path that was no longer authentic. That's finding meaning. It's bad examples, but you understand what I'm saying. So it's a deep structure that binds experiences into personal coherence. That's a mouthful. It's transformative, not just interpretive. And think of it as, what does it, like, you can ask yourself this question for meaning. What does this mean in the story of who I am and why I exist? two examples. So Friedrich Nietzsche, he's a psychologist, writer. You've probably heard of him. He's real famous. He who has a why can live to bear almost any how. So he coined that phrase or quote. So another one is, a man who loses his child to illness might years later create a foundation for other grieving parents. So the grief didn't just get reinterpreted, it became meaningful as a part of his life's moral project. And here's how they relate. Often a new perspective is a gateway to finding meaning. And you start by thinking differently, then you feel differently, and then you rebuild your story. So for men in crisis, perspective offers relief, and meaning offers transformation. So we want to start with perspective shifts to create space, reduce any shame or fear, and then move towards meaning to help you build a new purpose or direction. So if I were to give you like metaphor, like perspective is like a window. You can look through a different window, right? So, and meaning is like building a house. So it's messy, non-linear, often spiritual, helps with identity. I've got some examples, but I don't know if we need these. I think these are very straightforward. Okay, the third one. Here's the third one. I saved it for last. It's presence, but not the way you're thinking. So what I mean by presence is the capacity to stay in direct contact with your suffering without escaping it, analyzing it, or explaining it away. The body must feel what it feels without being shut down or overridden by the intellect. Why does presence need to belong with the other two? You have to have all three. You cannot have one or two of them. Because meaning integrates the pain, and perspective reinterprets the pain, okay? Change perspective. Meaning integrates the pain, and presence endures the pain without blinking, without numbing, without rushing through. Because you can't always find perspective right away. You can't always find meaning in the moment, but you can choose to stay with the experience, to feel, to witness, to endure. It's like presence is the crucibles, the container, and without it, perspective becomes detachment and meaning becomes fantasy. So we need all these three to function, to work together. Let me explain that again real quick. Perspective reframes the pain, meaning transforms the pain, and presence helps you feel the pain. And here's an interesting way to look at this. If you did not use all three together and you just used one or two, here's what happens. Perspective can become denial or rationalization. If you're just changing perspective or applying that concept, it can be denial or rationalizing. If you're just using meaning, or it's two of the three, it can become delusion or spiritual bypass. And if you're just using presence to feel the pain, it could become endless suffering without insight. And I found two quotes, one of them by my favorite psychologist, Carl Jung. He says, only what is truly endured can be transformed. So he's really saying something about presence there, about feeling the pain, sitting with it, not escaping it. And Rumi, who was a famous poet and writer, said, the cure for pain is in the pain. It's so true. So presence, stay with the pain. Don't flinch. Don't fix it. Perspective, reframe the pain. What is it showing you? and meaning, integrate the pain. Who are you becoming because of it? Okay? Going over it a number of times so you understand to use all three together, and how each one is different, approaches the problem from a different way. So I've shared with you these three, and I thought about how I would apply this for me, because I'll be honest, I didn't feel like doing this quick video today because the material is dry, and some of this could be heavy if you go into the detail. So there's like a cost to share it. But if I were to apply these, so that's presence, right? I sit and just feel the discomfort of doing a video that I feel would be boring and dry. And if I was on the other side of the screen viewing this kind of video, I mean, maybe I will sit through it if I really need the concepts, but I'd like to be entertained. I mean, I don't need to be, but I think learning any kind of material in a fun, lively way makes it a lot better. And I don't know if I'm doing that. So that's presence, sitting with this feeling. And perspective, again, I'm applying these three things to me doing this video, is what if this boredom is a sign I've outgrown how I present this? What if it's a signal that I need to switch tone, making it more alive, riskier, or unscripted? Meaning, so there was a point where I hated doing this. I felt fake, I almost stopped, but that resistance taught me something. What I really want to say isn't clean or packaged, it's alive. So I'm still figuring things out, and this is very much a learning process and a journey for me that's exciting. And my approach and the things I do, or my experimentation, I'm just going to keep pushing that forward until I get the right formula and deliver great content for you. So those are the three things, and I hope that you will keep them handy and use them if you're going through a challenge, life challenge right now, or a crisis. And you can help a friend going through something difficult as well. I might share this evening another concept that I think would be extremely helpful in the event of a breakup, heartbreak, your girlfriend or partner left you. Most of my viewers are men, 80%. So for the 20% of the females, it may be your boyfriend or husband left, but we know over 70% of divorces are initiated by women. So I think it's more applicable to men being the heartbroken, or I don't know. Anybody could use this. So tonight, I'm thinking of introducing this really valuable, effective tool. And no, it's not anything like these three things that are commonly known and you've heard of them before. I'm almost sure you've never heard of what I'm going to tell you in a future video, possibly tonight, about how to effectively deal internally, mentally, emotionally with heartbreak. So I think that's good for today, and I'd appreciate your comments and liking and subscribing to my channel. It keeps me going, it's good motivation, and I would appreciate that. So thank you, and look out for my next video.